Hi everyone. For today's video we're going to be looking at shoulder stability. Now, although you'd think that we would be kind of focusing directly on the shoulders, we're actually going to be looking at the upper back strength and the glute strength as well. Glutes are important when it comes to shoulders because of the posterior oblique sling, which is the opposite glute to the shoulder that you are working on. This will make it more functional and also you're going to get more out of your shoulder. The other thing is to work on the upper back strength. Again, this is just to make it more functional, and also the muscles in the back have a massive impact on how the shoulder functions and the stability around that area. So today we're going to need to use a circular band and also a long band. I've got a tennis ball here just for an exercise to show you at the end, and also we're going to need a couple of different levels of weight. However, you can supplement these with other things, just like you can use an ankle weight instead just to hold, or something that just has a bit of weight to it. We only need one at a time, so you don't need to find two objects the same. You can just grab something that's easy to sort of hold onto. Okay. So today, as I said before, we're looking at lots of different areas. So we're going to go through some upper back strengthening, some stability specifically for the shoulders, and also some stability whilst working with the glutes as well. I will cue you for when you need to think about these different things though. Okay, so let's get started. Okay, so exercise number one. You're going to bring yourself to your mat. You're going to lie face down, keeping your chest and your head lifted. You're going to bring your arms down by your sides, keeping the arms nice and straight, and we're going to squeeze the shoulder blades together, making sure they don't lift up by your ears. Keep them back and down. So you're going to squeeze and then lift the arms up. Now from here we're going to do 15 pulses right up into this end range. We're just going to release out slightly and then squeeze back together. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Keep the arms up. We're now going to rotate through, lifting the knuckles up to the ceiling, bring the arms out by your sides. Keeping the squeeze between your shoulder blades, but again, making sure they don't lift up towards your ears. And we're going to do the same thing again, squeezing between the shoulder blades, lifting the arms up, and we're going to do another 15 pulses here. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Keep them lifted. We're going to bend the arms, bring the elbows down towards the ribcage just a little bit, and we're going to go another 15. Let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Hold at the top. We're going to straighten the arms up overhead, bring the arms back down, squeeze the elbows down towards the ribcage, and repeat. We're going to do 10 of these. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Okay, bring yourself up, give yourself a little shake out. Okay, if you need extra rest, then feel free to pause the video. Otherwise, let's go for an extra set. So we're going to go face down, bringing the arms down by the sides, squeezing through the shoulder blades, and we're going to go for 15. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Bring the arms out to the sides, and we're going to go shoulders back and down, squeeze and lift, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Bend the arms, squeeze the elbows in towards the rib cage. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. Hold at the top. We're going to do 10 swimmers. Arms up overhead, lift the shoulders up towards the ears, pull back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Come back up. Give yourself a little roll out. For the next exercise, you're going to need your circular resistance band. Make sure that you start light with this and then gradually build up the strength of that band. We're going to bring the band around our wrists, bring our hands down towards the floor, and we're going to come out into a full plank position, and we're just going to tap out one hand at a time, just so you can see from this angle. We're just going out and back in, out and back in. Okay, with this, if you don't want to do a full plank, by the way, you can do a half plank, you can do a box position. It's completely up to you. Okay, so bring yourself into your plank position. If you are in a full plank, then give your butt a good squeeze. And then from here, we're going to pop the balance into one hand. Okay, we're going to tap the other hand out, then bring it back in. That's 1. Change sides. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax out for a second. So with this one, making sure that you are keeping the glutes squeezed, especially as you kind of transfer your weight, you'll probably find that one squeeze is a bit more than the other. This is going to help control your pelvis position. Okay, so it is super important that you keep that. If you're in a half plank position, you can still squeeze your butt. But if you're just doing box for now, then don't worry about those until you go into the kind of higher levels. So let's do another set. Bring yourself out into a plank, squeeze the glutes. We're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax out. One more set left. So just take a nice deep breath. And give your shoulders a little shake. Okay, and if you need longer, you can pause the video, but otherwise let's go for that last set. So, full plank, squeeze the butt, tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Relax out. Keep the band where it is. For the next exercise, we're going to use the same position, we're just going to go into a different body position, okay? So while you have a little breather, let me just talk you through what the next thing is going to look like. So we're going to go up into a downward dog position. Now, what we are mostly worried about here, or what's most important, is that we go into a full kind of overhead position. I'm not worried what your legs are doing, you can bend them if you want. The main thing I want is for you to just bring your arms as close as you can towards your shoulders and then just push through as much as you can. Okay, so I'm shrugging my shoulders. So I'll show you what this position looks like facing the camera. So I'm lifting my shoulders up towards my ears, and the movement we're going to do is going to be just tapping one way and then the other way, okay? So I'm not fussed what your legs are doing. Keep them bent if you need to, but let's go for it. So up in the downward dog position, open out your armpits as much as you feel comfortable and shrugging the shoulders. I can't stress this enough. Push the floor away from you. And then we're going to go for our taps, opening outside. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Come down for a little breather. Okay, so hopefully you could feel that you could really get that control in that position. If you couldn't, just come out of it a little bit. You don't need to go fully overhead straight away. Just going to go to where you kind of feel comfortable, even if that's here, and eventually you'll slowly increase your flexibility and your strength right up into that overhead position. Okay, let's go for another set. Downward dog position, open out the armpits, push the floor away, get those shoulders up towards your ears, and let's tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Relax down. Got one more set to do. Give your shoulders a little shake out. Nice deep breath. Okay, if you need longer to rest, feel free to pause the video now. Otherwise, let's go for our last set. Downward dog, open out the armpits. And we're gonna go tap 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10, and then coming back down and give it a last little shake out. Okay, for this next set of exercises, we're going to use the band again. Okay, and with this one, you know, I said before about using a light band and gradually building it up. This one is super important that you do that. So if you have got a heavy band, I do suggest starting with a lighter one because this is a little bit harder to do. And this is probably one of my favorite exercises for overhead kind of pole dancers, you know, going into that overhead position. I give it to loads of my clients, and I would do it in more of my classes, but we don't really use bands and stuff in that, but it is a very good exercise for pole dancers. So we're going to come up to kneeling, all right, and we're going to do this kind of, the reason we're coming into this position is so that we can squeeze the glutes. So we're going to be pushing forward, just thrusting a little bit forward and just keeping those glutes engaged. Okay, we're going to bring the band onto our wrists, just below the wrist joint. So it's actually on the forearm. Can you see how my wrist joints are not actually on the band at all? This is because if you have too much pressure through, then you'll be tempted to sort of wrap your arms around a little bit too much. So we're just going to keep it a bit lower. Okay, so we're going to do a few different kind of variations of this exercise. The first one that we're going to do is we're going to keep the elbows tucked in. So can you see how I'm creating a V position with my arms? Then from here, we're going to lift up overhead, keeping that position with the arms, straightening out, and then just doing a little pull at the top. We're then going to tuck back in and lower back through. Just trying to keep that tuck as much as you can. Okay, you'll find, I think my left one is a little bit more haywire with this, but as long as you know kind of where you're at, you can learn to control it and it will get better. So we're going to do some nice controlled movements, nice and slow. We're going to do 10 of these. Okay, so arms out in front, tuck the elbows in, pull out on that band. We're going to go up overhead, keep the butt squeezed, straighten out the arms, little pull at the top, tuck back in, keep those elbows in and down. Okay, so that's 1. 2, keep the pull out on the band throughout, that's 3, 4, 5, 6, keep the butt squeezed, I know it wants to relax, 7, 8, notice how my arms are losing a little bit control, that's okay, 9, last one, and that's 10. I'm going to go up again because I feel like I've counted wrong. I feel like I've just done 11, but that's fine. Okay, so with this you should feel it all around the outside of the arms, back of the shoulders. Okay, so if you're feeling it sort of in the chest a bit too much, then you might want to look at your positioning. Okay, we don't need to do things perfectly, but if you are feeling them in the wrong places, then it is good to have a look at that technique. Okay, but mine wasn't perfect and I can still feel it in the right places, so that's the main thing. Next variation, we're going to put the band in the same place again. This time we're going to go straight arms. Okay, and I'm going to pull out on that band, and then as I go overhead, I'm going to be in a nice big V position, and we're just going to pull out and back down. Okay, so let's go for 10 of these, keeping that pull, up, 1, 2, keep it pulled out, keep the butt squeezed, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, on the last one, keep going. Hold up, 10, and we're going to do 10 pulses here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out in front, and again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and down by your sides. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And shake it out. Hopefully you're feeling a nice bit of burn around the back of the shoulders, back of the arms. Okay, let's do another round of our shoulder V's that we've just done. So coming up into kneeling, squeezing the glutes. We're going to start with our bent arm version. So again, keeping the elbows tucked in, pressing out against the band. So let's go for it. We're going to go up overhead, straighten out the arms, little pull at the top, shrug the shoulders, and then pull back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and the last one now, this is number 10, and then bring it back down. Straighten out the arms, pull against the band, and we're going to go up overhead again, shrugging the shoulders up towards the ears as we go overhead, and that's 1, 2, 3, 4, keep the butt squeezed, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one. Remember, we're going to hold at the top now, that's 10, and we're going to 10 pulse at the top. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Out in front. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Keep breathing. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. And give it a little shake out again. Well done. Okay, for the next exercise, I'm going to use a set of weights. Now I've got a lighter one here and a heavier one. We're only going to use one at a time, but we're doing one with a straight arm and one with a bent arm. So the bent arm version is probably going to feel quite easy in comparison to the straight arm one, just because with the straight arm the lever is longer, which then creates a harder movement to control. So I'm going to use the lighter weight for the long arm, and then when we move on to the short arm, I'm just going to swap over to use the heavier weight so that I get more from it. Okay, so if you need to find stuff to make sure that you're kind of in a similar position, then go for it, go and do that now. Otherwise, let's go for it. So, like I said, starting with my light weight, so I'm just going to make sure they're in reaching kind of distance. You're going to bring yourself into a side plank, okay? So my feet are just going to be one in front of the other, and I'm just going to let my kind of chest and my over my arm, so you can see I've got a nice straight line between my shoulder and my wrist, or ish anyway. I'm going to grab my light weight, I'm going to wrap it across my body and down towards the floor, push through the bottom shoulder, and then lift this arm up to the ceiling. We're going to do 10 of those, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Bring the weight down, come back down just for a second to give that bottom arm a bit of a rest. The great thing about this exercise is that we are working both shoulders in a different way. Okay, so as we do that kind of opening position with the top arm, strengthen the back of the shoulders, getting a good squeeze. So similar to the exercise we did at the beginning, we're going to be getting like similar gains from that. But with the bottom arm, we're getting pure kind of stability push. So this is a good exercise for kind of the bottom arm and your arms only stuff for those pole dancers. Okay, so yeah, getting that push, and the wobbling with the top arm is making that arm have to work even harder. So that's really good, okay? So let's do the next variation. So we're going to need our heavier weight now for this one if you're going to change it up. So bring yourself into your side plank again, making sure that your arm is underneath your chest, staggering the feet, and then we're just going to hold that heavier weight. So this time we're going to keep the arm in that same starting position, but we're going to bend the arm and lift up towards the ceiling. So we're doing like a side row position. We're going to do 10 of these. So this is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Relax out. So let's change sides. Again, making sure the weights are kind of in reaching distance. You don't actually have to rest in between these two variations. So if you decide to take these exercises away with you, then you can do your straight arm ones, pop the weight down, grab the heavy one, and go straight for the kind of side row position. So again, coming into our side plank position, grabbing your light weight, and we're going to go for our straight arm position. So lifting the arm up and back down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Come down, bring that weight out of the way, give yourself a little shake. So just while we're having a little rest, I want to talk to you about your breathing. So if you haven't done sport like as a child and you've just come into pole as an adult, then you probably were never taught about like purposeful breathing. Okay, so when you are doing your exercise, it's really important you just keep a nice steady breath throughout. If you find that you're coming out of an exercise and you're like, oh God, because you haven't breathed throughout, then you are definitely one of those people that needs to think about this, okay? So as we continue on and as you continue on in your practice, make sure that you are thinking about breathing throughout. So let's go for the final round. We're going to go side plank position, heavier weight this time, pulling the arm up towards the ceiling and dropping back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Okay, gently come out of it and bring that weight away. Okay, let's do another set of those exercises. So bringing yourself into a side plank position, grabbing your light weight. Let's start with the straight arms. We're gonna go 1, 2, 3, keep your butt squeezed, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Stay in your side plank. We're gonna go with the heavier weight, pull across, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Let's change sides. Okay, starting with the light weight. Let's go for it. 1, keep your butt squeezed, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, and 10. Change weights, pull across. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last one, 10. Okay, relaxing out of it and give yourself a little shake out. Okay, we're going to do another side plank exercise using a downward dog as well. So this is a really good exercise, another one that's good for that bottom arm pushing, and we are going to utilize that sort of overhead push as well, which, as we know, is super important for pole dancers. We're just going to do 5 of these on both sides, okay? So going into your side plank position, you want to make sure that your butt stays kind of down. You don't want to be lifted up too much because that's going to make it easier, okay? And we want to try and get a nice challenging position for this bottom arm. We're then going to turn through onto the feet into a downward dog position, pushing through that single arm, opening out the chest, and then we're going to come back through and rotate around to our side plank. Okay, so that's 1. Let's keep going. 2, 3, 4, and that's 5. Let's change sides, going through a full plank, bringing yourself over to side plank, and let's go again. So rotating the feet and opening the chest. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, last one, 5, come back to side plank, and then relax out of it from there. Okay, for this final exercise, we're going to use a long resistance band. Okay, so I've got a handle on one end. You don't actually need that. I just find it easier to pull with that. And then I'm going to just put the other end under my opposite foot. Okay, so I've got my opposite arm to leg. Okay, and this is going to be where we're utilizing a lot of that kind of glute posterior oblique stuff that I was talking about at the start of the video. Okay, so the opposite glute to the shoulder that we're working. So we're going to squat down. Okay, you don't need to do a huge squat, just like a quarter squat is fine. And you're going to rotate your body towards the leg that you're holding the band in. So we're going to squat and then just slightly rotate. Okay, we don't need to be like all the way over here. Just a bit of a rotation towards that leg is fine. That just means we're putting more weight into that standing leg so that we'll get more power through the glute as we lift up, and then we'll get more out of that shoulder as well. Okay, so rotating through. We're then going to pull on that handle, lift the elbow up towards the ceiling, bringing the fist up towards the armpit and rotating away from that leg. Again, getting a lot of that glute squeeze through, especially the opposite leg. We're going to come back through, squat down, and then repeat. So let's carry on from there. This is going to be our second one. So that's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last 1, and 10. Okay, let's change sides. So again, getting yourself set up, feet just wider than shoulders apart. We're going to squat down, rotate towards that standing leg, pushing through the glute, pulling the arm up to the ceiling. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last 1, and 10. Okay, let's change sides. We're going to do another round on each side. So setting yourself up, squat down, rotate through. Let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Let's change sides. Hopefully you should start feeling that shoulder working by now. If not, you might need a heavier band, okay? So just bear that in mind. And we're going to squat down, rotate. Let's go for it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, last 1, and that's 10. Okay, relax out, give your shoulders a little shake out. Okay, I'm sure you've all been dying to know why I mentioned a tennis ball at the start of this session. So this is kind of like a bonus exercise. I'm going to just show you it. I'm not going to talk you through reps, mainly because I'm really rubbish at it. It's one that I only recently found, so I need to practice it also. But I still wanted to share it with all of you. So tennis ball. Now the reason I'm using a tennis ball is because it's light, and if I drop it or throw it up myself, which will happen probably, then it's not going to hurt. As you get better with this, you can start using a heavier ball. So you can even go just up to like a massage ball, which usually has a little bit more weight to it. But as you get real good at this, you can actually use like complete weighted balls, which obviously makes things a little bit harder. But yeah, we're going to start here. So essentially what we're going to do is we're going to go in a plank position. Okay, I'm going to show you the variations, and we're just going to throw ourselves the ball. So this is great for stability, okay, because the arm that's always on the floor is going to be moving around a lot, so you are going to be getting a lot of stability in that shoulder. But it's also really good for proprioception, which is essentially knowing where you are in space, okay? So if I go like this and I go to catch it and I do that, that went really far away. Have my ball back now. Okay, so yeah, if that happens, that's because I don't know where my hand is in kind of comparison to the rest of me or the rest of how I'm throwing, and that means my proprioception isn't great, okay? So this is a really good way to kind of improve that. So the first and kind of easiest way to do this is to start in a box position, okay? So tucking the tailbone under, getting a squeeze through the abs. We're going to throw the ball up, swap the hands and catch. So throw, I knew this was going to happen. Throw and catch. This is kind of plyometric as well, because we're getting like a little bit of a hop with each side. What if you're like me and you're not very good at it yet? I'm going to show you facing the camera so you can see what my body is doing. Okay, so I'm throwing up, transferring the weight to catch. Okay, so this is kind of like step 1, lightest weight, easiest body position. Now, if you want to make this harder and harder, you're then going to go through kind of half plank or full plank position. I'm going to attempt a full plank one. Okay, this is the first time I've tried this, okay, so I'm just saying this now, that you are lucky to see this first attempt. So, full plank, we're gonna go throw. Okay, let's try again. We're gonna go up, yes, I did it. Up, yes, there we go. We'll get a bit of a rhythm. Oh no. Okay, I will do it one more time, facing the camera, just so you can see what I'm doing. Maybe we'll get a couple of successful ones again. So full plank, and I'm gonna go throw. Yes. Yes. Woohoo. Okay. So there you go. A little challenge for you there as well. Make sure you start with something light. Otherwise you might break things around you or hit yourself in the face or something, which we don't want. Anyway, enjoy that challenge. Well done everyone, that is all of our exercises for today. We are just going to finish off with a tiny little stretch. Even though we're doing stability stuff, we are getting kind of strength gains and achiness around the shoulders and probably the glutes a little bit as well from using those in some of the exercises. So let's just stretch out some of those areas. Bring your legs out in front. You're going to bring your knuckles towards your rib cage or the side of your belly. You're going to tuck your elbows in and then just pull your elbows together by pushing your knees together. And this should be stretching that kind of outside of the arm and back of the shoulder area that we've used quite a lot in today's session. So just keep taking some nice deep breaths. And if you feel like you can go a little bit further, then just gently squeeze your elbows together even more. But again, just go kind of where you're comfortable. Okay, gently releasing that. I'm just going to roll that out. We're going to hug the knees. And what I want you to do is try and straighten out your legs by pulling against the arms, and then you're just going to round your back out, so as if your spine's trying to like pop out from behind you, which is a really gross analogy, I'm sorry, but it works for me. And then you're going to just drop your head down and try and really actively open your shoulder blades. So by pulling your knees kind of down against your arms and pulling your spine out behind you, you should get quite a nice opening effect through between the shoulder blades, which we've worked quite a bit from doing our upper back strengthening. And we don't want to get tight. As you know, as pole dancers, it's super important that we are strong and flexible. So always good to kind of finish off your sessions with a bit of a stretch. And gently coming out of that. Bring your arms behind you with your fingers pointing towards your bum. You're going to tuck your elbows in and then just slide your bum away, dropping your chest down. Again, just trying to keep those elbows tucked in towards each other and just sinking down into that stretch. Take some nice deep breaths here as well. Okay, and gently coming out of that, you're just going to bring yourself into a lying down position. I'm going to show you my favourite glute stretch. So you're going to cross your knees over each other and you're going to bring your knees up towards your chest. So see how my bum is lifting off of the floor? I'm going to hold my ankles, opening them out so that I've got a nice straight line between my knee and my ankle, and then I'm just going to pull my ankles down towards the floor. So you should feel a nice intense stretch on the leg that's closest to you, on your glute, but also getting a nice bit of rotation through the opposite hip as well. Okay, gently coming out of that, swapping the legs over, and then just going into that same position, so keeping the ankles up. So I don't want you to like kind of pull yourself down like this. Keep the angle open between your kind of, well, that knee angle basically, between your butt and your heel, and just pulling down towards the floor. And gently coming out of that. Bring yourself up. Okay everyone, we are done for today. I hope you enjoyed all this content. I hope you can take it away with you, put it into your own training, and I hope you find it really useful. Otherwise you can just follow along with this video and just get a little bit of a workout. If you enjoyed how I teach, if you enjoyed any of this content, then please go and check out my website, which is www.poledancing-therapist.com. I have multiple memberships available and also different pole dance classes where you can learn full pole dance tutorials from me as well, not just the off the pole stuff. Remember that I am a sports rehabilitator and a pole dancer, so I always merge these two worlds together and put all my knowledge together to give you the safest way of training your pole dance. Anyway, thank you so much for listening today, and I'll see you next time.